everybody, and welcome to the Jersey Comic Crew. We bring you the news and reviews of all your favorite comic books, movies, TV shows, and as always, I'm Chris Heller, and with me is...
Rob Moran. Awesome to have a new episode in the new year.
Happy New Year, everyone!
2020 is my year.
I hope it is. I hope it's all of our years, because it started off rough globally already.
Oh, with World War III and also fires in Australia?
Yeah, man, it's 2020 is like, hey, you thought this is a new decade, let's fuck some shit up.
Well, you know what? So far, I'm keeping up with my resolution.
What's your resolution?
I have 2. Yeah, it's not to get skinny, you judgmental people, first of all. I was thinking it too! Because I'm going to do that on my own. Every time I do it as a resolution, I just
He's going to throw up now.
Anyway, it's to read a comic book a day.
Oh, that's easy for me.
That doesn't sound hard, right? It does sound easy, but like I'm very much the person I read in spurts, as you know.
Yeah.
I let things get backlogged and then I just read all day.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I read a comic a day, it'll be easier for my list, and also I could read new shit.
Yeah.
Or new stuff, I should say.
Well, that should be easier for you because you do online reading.
Yeah.
So like Rob reads digital and I read like old school paper.
Caveman technology.
I'm a collector.
I had to stop.
It's an addiction.
It's just because logistically I don't have room for all of them. I buy key issues. I'll buy key issues, or like I like buying trades now. I'm a sucker for the hardcovers. I'm like, let's clean.
Yeah. Hardcovers are awesome.
The other resolution is to read actually books more.
Yeah, man.
And I'm reading at least a couple pages a day minimum. So that way I can start getting through it. Like I do both of these things, but nowhere near as consistent. I think consistency is a big thing.
Yeah. And
I was like, all right, if I change these habits, reading a comic book issue takes like 5-10 minutes.
Totally.
And reading a couple pages could take 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
If I just short out, but at least I'm doing it. So that way I start building the habit, and I'm like, oh, now I'm reading. Like I literally will hop on the Xbox. All my friends are at a party, they're playing a game. I'm like, all right, hold on, guys. Let me finish reading these couple pages, and then I play.
And then you're back, yeah. They're like, dude, what do you
They're like, why are you in a party reading?
Why are
I was
we
like,
waiting?
so I could talk to you. No, they're not waiting. They don't wait for me.
Well, good. They shouldn't.
Did you make a New Year's resolution?
I did.
Is it be nicer to your co-host?
No.
No,
I
of
think
course
I'm
not.
nice enough for you. Mine is more of, mine's kind of similar, but in a different aspect. Because I read a lot.
You want to gain weight?
Yes, I would like to gain more weight. Mine's more of like at nighttime. Everyone does this where like you're on your phone forever until you basically fall asleep.
Yes.
And for me, it's like I'm on my phone because I'm like, okay, I'm at the end of my day. Is there anything left of like news or like pop culture stuff I need to know before falling asleep? Like Instagram or, websites or even iFunny. I'm just like fucking around.
iFunny, surprisingly, good source of information.
Pretty good source of information.
My friend, I'm sorry to sidetrack you. My friend didn't know about the fires in Australia.
Yeah.
Then he saw all the memes. He's like, guys, what's happening in Australia?
iFunny, breaking the news.
Go ahead.
So like news items like that and stuff that I keep focusing on, like at night when you're trying to fall asleep is really, one, not good for your eyes. And I have light sensitivity. So I'm usually in glasses when I'm not on the show because it reflects, and Rob said to stop because I look like the creepy guy from Sin City. And
he looks like that without the glasses. I mean, look at him.
And 2, I want to replace that with reading, like ending my day with reading, because 1, it stimulates your brain and it also calms you and it's easier to fall asleep. And I have trouble sleeping a lot because my mind's always going.
Okay.
So I want to replace it not necessarily with comics that I read comics, but like more novels. Same thing, because I'm a little behind on my novel reading.
Okay. Who would have thought that 2 comic book people doing a comic book and pop culture podcast
want to read?
Would want to read? I never thought of it.
Never thought of that ever. But yeah, obviously that, and obviously this year I really my second one is I want to get this show on the road, man. I want to do some stuff.
Oh,
get this going.
There we go.
Which we need your guys' help.
That's right. So you share this with everybody with this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We haven't even started the show yet, but you're going to do it because we're poor.
And if you like the show, it takes 2 seconds. Ring that bell. Write comments. We got a bunch of nice comments on our Rise of Skywalker review.
Oh yeah, what they say?
People liked it. People agreed with us. People said some funny stuff about Kylo Ren.
Good.
Yeah, we got a nice little conversation going down there.
I love it. And the more you guys can do, the more we want to do, because there's so many more ideas we want to do.
Yes.
We just
other
don't
shows
have the time. Yes, other
we
shows.
can't talk about right now because they're in the works.
And other formats of this stuff, maybe solo video per thing, maybe a Star Wars,
maybe a
thing.
little live show.
Oh,
where you could come see us and ask the questions.
yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff me and Rob like think about. It's not just like we don't just focus just on this show all the time. We're always thinking of new stuff. Like Rob and I, half of our conversation isn't just about like, hey, what are we doing this week? It's like, hey, what if we change this? Hey, what if we do that? So we're always working to kind of improve this, and I think this year is a big year for that.
I think, 100%. But two, I think if I focus only on this show, I'd be single.
Well, we kind of almost are at this point, so we spend so much time on this show on and off air. So
she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm watching this. She's like, it has nothing to do with your show. It has nothing I was like, but it's related in a pop culture sphere. It's fine.
Yeah, no, everything has to do with the show. Everything.
So speaking of pop culture, speaking of movies, speaking of rumors that I just said right now, and Marvel is one of the biggest movie conglomerates of the world.
We really got to get a Segway machine.
We're going to get... What are you trying to say?
2020.
You said I can't walk? You think I need a Segway to get around?
I'm not saying you're one of the guys in WALL-E.
You know who doesn't need a Segway?
Also, that's the life.
Christian Bale. That's right. So there is a rumor that Christian Bale, yes Batman, is going to be in Thor Ragnarok. Thor Love and Thunder. The rumors are starting to grow a little bit more that it's a mocap role.
Yes.
So mocap, again, for those of you who may not know, is motion capture. So it's going to be mostly CGI person. Christian Bale, we know his fantastic acting. Even if you don't know him from, Vice and all the other roles, the American Psycho, The Fighter, countless movies. If you just know him in Batman, you're going to know he does a good job.
Yeah. And he just did Ford versus Ferrari.
Yes, he did.
Which has a lot of awards out right now. He's a phenomenal actor outside of Batman, even though to me he's like the best on-screen Batman, live-action Batman. To me, personally. But yeah, I think...
Side note, I felt Ben had the potential, but they did nothing with him.
Yeah, same thing with Cavill. Like, Cavill looks like Superman and should be Superman. It's the writing and directing that hurt him. Same thing with Ben.
Correct.
Anyway,
so, my question to you.
I digress.
I want to know who you think he's going to be.
I was hoping you'd ask this question.
There are a couple of rumors online. The big two names that I keep hearing are, the God Butcher. I've heard that one, and I've heard Beta Ray Bill.
Say it again.
Beta Ray Bill. So, not counting Beta Ray Bill.
Okay.
I want you to save him for last.
Okay.
What do you think he could be, and what is the significance of him being some of these other characters?
Yes.
Like, is he going to be a villain? Is he going to be a hero?
I think he could be both. I think he'd be an anti-hero. If anyone just read the Jason Aaron run, which just ended, one of the best runs of Thor ever. It's about 7 to 10 years long. It started with...
It's a marathon.
Yeah, it started with Thor and the God Butcher stuff, and then it went to Lady Thor, and then back to Unworthy Thor, and then King Thor was in there. Also, Donny Cates just wrote the first issue of Thor. It's phenomenal. I think there's a character in Jason Aaron's run named Dario Agger.
Dario Agger. Okay, yes. So who is this character?
So Dario Agger is the head of Roxxon Corporation.
Wait a minute.
You see him in the... You see him in
War of the Realms.
War of the Realms as one of Malekith's people on Earth, kind of controlling things to kind of give it to Malekith.
He's a human.
He's a human, but he's also a Minotaur. So he can change into a Minotaur, but when he's human, he looks like Christian Bale.
So, what's this guy's name again?
Dario Agger.
So, Dario Agger, who is a Minotaur.
He's basically like a Norse, almost like changeling. Think of Etrigan the demon.
Yes, okay.
So when he turns, his eyes go red, and then he literally turns into a Minotaur and fucks people up.
So, a evil business Minotaur man.
Yes.
Secondary villain, not main villain then.
Secondary villain, sometimes anti-hero. But mostly villain. But mostly villain.
So now...
mostly, think of the Lex Luthor mentality of I'm doing this for my own gain. Or the Maxwell Lord mentality of I'm the businessman going to take this person down.
Yeah, it sounds like more of that aspect.
So I think that could be a major possibility because mocap, if he's going to be a Minotaur, you got to mocap it. Unless you found a mythical creature that's real.
Here's the good thing with that. If he was that, because Christian Bale would be able to do both. The mocap role, when he's, mocapped as a Minotaur.
And you could Bruce Wayne him, put him in a suit.
And then you could put him in a suit. You could Bruce Wayne him, essentially, and he could do the evil, creepy act. We've seen it in American Psycho.
Yes.
We've seen it in other roles that he has. He has a wide acting range.
Yeah. And I don't think this would be hard for him.
No, I think this could take a good advantage of both. I'm afraid. So I don't think it's Beta Ray Bill. I'm gonna pop the bubble.
I don't think it's Beta Ray Bill either, but I would love it if it was.
The reason I don't think Beta Ray Bill, and real quick, Beta Ray Bill, think of a reverse centaur. He's a horseman, regular human body. He becomes a worthy and wielding Mjolnir. Odin gives him Storm Rage. Storm Rage?
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker, thank you.
Which Thor has now.
Which Thor has now, and he becomes a hero in his own right. Mm-hmm. Reason I don't think it's going to be him, another hero in this universe. One, we know that we're going to get Lady Thor in this. So you're already introducing a new hero. I think Beta Ray Bill is still going to be down the road. Other than also, I don't think you're going to have Christian Bale, who is a huge name, take on Beta Ray Bill, who's going to be a huge character.
And not see Christian Bale's face.
Bale's face. And also that big of a name staying in DC. I mean, staying in Marvel with such a strong DC attachment, I don't think Marvel could do. I think if Marvel puts him as a secondary villain or secondary hero, it's hard enough. Secondary villain that's only in the Thor movies, and we see a limited view of him, I think they could get away with that without backlash.
I think there's another character that people aren't thinking about, which is he's smaller in the comics, but they can make him big in the movies.
Who?
Is Gore.
The God Butcher.
The God Butcher, which would be really evil.
Does he butcher gods?
Literally.
Oh.
They could do that. Or Bor, which is Thor's other brother, who's dead in the underworld.
Yeah,
and he rules the underworld with Hela. They could have him not be dead.
What is it? Bor the Trustworthy, or is Bor the?
He's like a war. He's like an.
What's his name though?
I forget the ending part.
The Bor the something.
Yeah, he's the first son of Odin.
Yes, I don't think they're gonna do the first son of Odin, Bor, as him. I think that's too small of a role.
I mean, unless in the story they make it big. Like here's also like the Beta Ray Bill thing. I think Beta, not even being biased about Beta, because if you watch the show, you know I love Beta, but I think it's time for him to be in this line of movies, because I think you've had a really good trajectory of Thor's character to where now is the real test for him. Because you had Endgame was like the depressed, like, you know, overweight, kind of gave up on himself Thor, and his arc in that movie is one of redemption and one of his whole part in this movie is I'm still worthy. Like he calls Mjolnir in the past, and it comes to him, and he's like, how am I still worthy after all of this?
Do you think if Beta Ray Bill comes in this movie, he gives Stormbreaker to him?
No, I think Thor is out there with the Guardians or not, and Thor's still fat and out of shape because he's still trying to like slowly climb out of that depression and slowly climb out of that awful.
Or maybe he's just fat now. That's fine.
Also fine, but we also want to see Hemsworth like ripped out of his mind and kicking ass.
I do.
So I think this with Jane Foster becoming Lady Thor and takes Mjolnir from him and is like, I think Thor does something that like isn't Thor-like. I think to get out of a situation because he's not in shape and he's still like struggling with himself, he has to go to like this extreme and like either kill someone he shouldn't have.
He falls again, you think?
Or it hurts something, like he has like a setback.
Okay.
And I think part of it could be attacking Beta's ship without thinking like, why are they running?
Oh.
Like it doesn't have to be Galactus who's chasing Beta. It could be like he's escaping his world being destroyed and Thor's like, I'm king and you blah, 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 blah. And you're not adhering to what I'm saying. And Beta F's him up with Stormbreaker and takes it from him. So Thor's left without a hammer.
Ooh.
And Thor has to find himself and what it means to be Thor without the hammer. Just like, in Star Wars lore, the lightsaber doesn't make you a Jedi. Like, you have to make your choices on what you want to be without the lightsaber.
My only issue with that is that I feel like that would mean the whole story is revolved around Thor heavily. I think a lot of this
it's called Thor.
Yes. I think it's going to shift the focus to Lady Thor. I think if we do that story, you're going to give Lady Thor too small of an arc for this movie.
I'm okay with that.
I understand you're okay with that. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I don't think we're going to get a shift from Hemsworth to like Natalie Portman being Thor forever.
No, I think we're going to shift from from only Hemsworth to Hemsworth and Natalie.
Maybe.
I think we're going to see a 50-50-ish split.
I mean, I was never a big fan of Jane Foster as Thor in the book because I thought the better story was her dealing with her cancer.
That was good.
I liked every time she turns into Thor, like it gets her closer to death because it's utilizing her body heavily.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool because it was like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
But I felt like her Thor was like, let's just push this. Let's push this.
You felt
like to me, she was the brilliant doctor. Like Thor was like, you know, the muscle, but she was the brains.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they took the brains out of her and made her kind of like, oh, let's just make her badass.
What if they take your story and twist it a little bit? She's dying of cancer. Thor gives his power to her.
That's smart too, yeah.
Saves her. She becomes essentially Lady Thor, and he becomes unworthy.
Her into Mjolnir, whoever, like the oath on Mjolnir, and it like passes the baton.
Sure.
Sorry, I got really nerdy there.
If you want that, yeah.
I got deep cut nerd.
I'll call the people at Marvel for you. I'll call Kevin. You know, I'll text him.
Okay, yeah.
So, how mad would you be? I don't think you do the show with me anymore. But no, but like, what if they do that?
What
like he, yo, Figgy, what's up in the hizzy? But no, he gives his powers to her. Essentially, becomes unworthy because all his godness is in her, and he becomes essentially a fat man.
Do we get a workout montage like in Rocky? With like Rocket Raccoon training.
Have you look at the logo? You're telling me we're not going to get a freaking 80s montage?
I want a Karate Kid / Rocky montage of Thor getting fit.
I hope so. That'd be great.
Who doesn't want that?
So, guys, let us know down in the comments below what you think of Christian Bale possibly joining Thor. If you liked our theories on who he could be, what is your theory? Please let me know down below.